Well, hello.
Welcome back.
How you fellas doing?
Fantastic.
Man, I tell you what,
Killing it.
it's been a long time.
Yeah?
Not really.
No.
But you know, we already
Seems like it's been 2 weeks.
here
I'm
we
wearing
are
a different shirt, for Christ's sake.
again. My God,
I wish.
here we are, setting up, recording another episode of Talking Winter with Swinter.
Yeah.
Right here, live from the Swinter Group World Headquarters and Studios
And studios.
in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still just a hair bright in here, but way better than it was earlier.
It is way better than it was earlier. Yep, which is good. Which means Nicole doesn't even realize that it happened. Oh, now you're paying attention over there.
Yeah.
So Nicole would like to sit if you could channel the entirety of the intensity from the sun and put it all like into a reflective room,
Yeah.
that is where Nicole would like to be.
You know, like those sanitary white rooms you see in movies where they have all the scientific equipment and it's real bright in there.
Yeah, but you know what's bizarre? But let's say like it's sleepy time, right? And you turn off the lights, you're going to bed, and there's the one little red LED on the TV that doesn't shut off.
Oh.
I swear to God, she will get up and unplug the damn television because it's wasting energy with that light.
No.
Not true.
That is not now, but it used to be.
I have a piece of tape. I have a piece of tape over the line on the TV at home.
Oh yeah.
Because when it's dark, I want it to be dark. I don't want that LED piercing my eyeball.
Dude. Oh well, okay, then you guys can.
Don't.
Commiserate. I'm not going there.
Okay, all right.
I'm not going there. I know how uncomfortable you get with that. That's fine.
It's fine. Anyways,
fine.
let's get on topic here.
Wow, Adam's like, let's go.
Let's go.
Man,
I feel like this is going to be Jason's forte, especially when we start talking about, equipment and getting into that and closing out the season, talking about what you need to do to make sure that your equipment is taken care of. And I know Jason, he's big guy. He works the lube. He likes to keep everything good, keep the shafts.
Whoa! He works the
Louvre
at
the museum in Paris.
Art
the
museum?
lube, we're greasing stuff. Your big
Works the lube.
I thought you said I worked at the Louvre.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's where Mona Lisa is, by the way.
There is a saying in the shop that the guys in the shop use all the time because in mechanical situations, this is really good advice. You ready?
I'm waiting.
When in doubt, use more lube.
That's right.
100%.
I thought it was when in doubt, hit it harder. No?
Get the hammer out.
Yeah.
Bitter better. Let's get at her.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, okay. Well, we'll bring it, Adam. What do you got?
Oh, I was really hoping to get some feedback from Jason here. Like I said, he's been amazing with some of the parts that we deal with and knowing the equipment and dealing with Krown and Salt Eliminator. So, start us off. What's the first thing you're going to lube up?
Well, before you go lubing anything up, I think the first thing, of course, is to make sure you have all your equipment.
Just you make sure you actually still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't have a skid steer in a container somewhere.
Man,
What are you
that's a
implying?
little rough. We lost the skid steer last year.
We didn't lose it.
We just we just
didn't find it.
It was right there
away.
where we left
we
it.
just didn't. Yeah, that's fair. So okay, yeah. It's not that we lost the skid steer. We
wasn't lost.
found one in the fall.
We did.
Yeah, we're staging equipment. It's like, what the hell? There's already a machine here.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that one up, bud.
Well, listen. I'm just keeping it light.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
that's
but
fair.
in all honesty, though,
Growing pains. It's all part of it. We've all been through it. Some of you guys, whether you're big or small, you got to start somewhere. So
that's right.
Whether it's with one skid or you got 25 now, it doesn't matter.
Well, I don't think we have 25, but
No.
I don't even think we're in double digits yet. But
Oh
still.
yeah, we are.
We are?
Yeah, dude, come on.
Trying to be humble here.
Well, humility. Okay, you cannot sacrifice truth for humility.
That's true.
That's true. Now, there's no need to brag about it.
No,
It's
we're
fine.
not. We're not.
Yeah,
We're not.
I mean, nobody needs to know we have 200 skid steers.
No, it's not 200.
It's not
I can
200.
tell you
That's
that.
fine.
Unless we got a lot of containers somewhere.
They're all in Mexico. It's fine. So, all right. So seriously. So we're gonna. So closing down the season, we're gonna go on equipment, right?
We're gonna start. Yeah. Start.
All
there.
right. Yeah. So I mean, step one, to your point, actually know where it is.
Yeah.
Log it. Get it back to the shop.
Right.
Thorough cleaning.
Yeah. So the point I was making with that is it's so much easier if you have the room in your location to get everything back to your
What are
shop.
you doing?
Nothing.
I'm not sure he knows. To be honest
No,
with you.
he started far back. He like started away from the mic. He's like making noises, getting closer. It was weird.
If you hear something weird, don't worry. It's just Adam eating.
No, I already
Probably
did
not
that.
a salad.
No, definitely not a salad.
Yeah. All right, bring it. So thoroughly clean. You sound like you're.
The point I was going to make is that it's way easier if you have the room to get all of your equipment back to one central location.
That's it.
to do, and then that's it. Just park it and just let it let it rot.
That's step one.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, begin by thoroughly cleaning it. And when we say thoroughly cleaning, what is it that we actually mean by that?
Okay, so something that we did here that has been really, really, really helpful is we have a 2-inch water line.
Yep.
That comes in here. So we essentially hook up a fire hose and just douche those things. I mean, we hit it with a ton of water because you want to flush all of the chlorides and all the salts away from the equipment, right? So if you're using a power washer and you rinse it down and you see those little white streaks all over everything, that's salt.
Yep.
And so when you
No, that was from Jason.
snail trails, it's fine. So when you're let's go. You know what? We might need to do this in video format. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so those little white streaks that you get, what happens is when you wash with the power washer, right, and you get a minimal amount of water on there at high pressure, what happens is you dissolve that salt, you turn it into brine, which then that water then gets into all of the teeny tiny little nooks and crannies and crevices and wiring harnesses. Yep. And it gets into areas that salt by itself couldn't have gotten into before. Yep. And when you're washing the machine, you got the cab up, you got it all opened up. I mean, you're exposing all of the areas that wouldn't typically get exposure to salt. And then you liquefy the salt, and now you've made it much, much, much worse. So one of the things that we will do is we will use that 2-inch water line, very low pressure, high volume, and soak it. Right. So we do that first, and then we use the Krown's Salt Eliminator.
Yep.
Which is hands down the best product that we've found.
Yeah. And just, I'm going to get a little geeky here for just for a second.
Do it.
Talking about.
You got to put your glasses up though. Put your glasses up. Yeah. There you go. Nice. Okay. Sorry.
Pocket protector and everything. So when you wash away, even with a very high volume at low pressure, you are going to absolutely be able to wash away all the visible salt and salt residue that has accumulated over the season. What you will not be able to do, though, is break the bond between the chloride molecule and the metal that it is on.
Very true.
That takes somewhere in the neighborhood of 13,000 PSI.
I think it's like 4.
I think it's a little higher than that. It takes a great deal of pressure.
Yes.
To break the chloride bond with the metal, which is, of course, is where your rust and your corrosion comes from. Electronic components are the same way. So we use our product that we use is made by Krown with a K. It's called Salt Eliminator. But there's a bunch out on the market. The point is that you need to use something that is designed chemically to break the chloride bond with the metal.
Yeah, and to that, look at when you're shopping products, some of those products are acid based, right?
Yeah, they're very acidic. Yeah.
I think it's sulfamic acid that it doesn't break the bond between the chloride and the steel. It actually eats the chloride.
It eats the chloride
and
off.
It eats the steel.
A very microscopic portion of the steel, depending on how long you leave it on. Which is why the instructions say rinse it off immediately.
Well, and thoroughly rinse because it'll eat the paint. It'll eat. I mean, some of that acidic stuff can be really bad, and you sure as hell don't want to ingest it.
No.
So one of the things that we like about the Salt Eliminator is that it's environmentally friendly, and if your guys get it on their hands or in their eyes or something, they don't wind up blind.
Yep.
So
I've had it in my eye before. It's not bad.
Yeah, I had it in my mouth once. We were
the first time.
Yeah, man, I walked into that one. No, our drum pump broke.
That's exactly how I got it in my eye.
Yeah, and so I got.
This is getting really nasty, fellas.
So I got a hose and to try to do the old siphon trick and wound up with a mouthful of Salt Eliminator, and I was fine, and it had that have been like NutriWash or another one of the
you probably would not have tried to siphon it.
No, I probably would have.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to get the damn job done, and I'm stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got it in my eye from the exact same way. As I was pumping the barrel pump, and it broke, and the little bit of pressure that remained as I was looking down at it shot
I can't help it.
right into my eye.
God, this
And
is
it's
going.
fine. It didn't hurt.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Didn't burn. So anyway, so yeah, you need to use a product that's going to break that bond, because as much as you think you've washed it, as much as you think you flooded it, as much as you think you power washed it, I promise you that chloride molecule is still bonded to the metal.
Yes.
And it's still going to cause corrosion and rust.
Yep. Very, very true. Very true.
That's what I tell my women.
What? That you're going to rust?
No, you got to wash it good. I mean, talking about the skid steers, when you name them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Don't take it too far, Ken.
I was just confused and was asking for clarity.
I know.
Yeah, I got it. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, okay. So you get it back, you get it washed. It's all cleaned up. It's ready to go. Now you're looking for your PM.
You find every Zerk fitting on that piece of equipment.
Yep, and then and treat it with something. I mean, there's plenty of dudes out there that are still using old motor oil and diesel.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, fine. Whatever the magic secret sauce is that you have, if it works for you, great. If you're looking for something, again, we can very highly recommend Krown.
Yep.
It's
T40.
It's fantastic. Well, no, it's T42 now.
Oh, that's right. They did update it, but the cans still say T40.
Nope. Well, the older cans do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but there's, that stuff is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's lots of other products that are out there. The next closest thing that we've seen that's really good is fluid film.
Yeah.
I can't stand the waxy buildup in there, the paraffin.
The same thing with wool wax. It's the same problem with the waxy film that's left over.
Yeah. That really drives me nuts. I don't like that. Anyway, whatever. But nonetheless, find something and treat your equipment to keep it from rotting, because man, it's bad.
Yep.
Then what?
Are you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, dude, this is your thing. Come on.
I didn't say it was my thing.
Man,
I said I had a lot.
Couple episodes like me and Jason can't learn this.
He'll give you a solid 2 minutes, and then he's done.
No. The next point.
That's all I got, man.
The next thing, honestly, is really kind of something a lot of guys might shake their head at or turn their head up to when you say, "Don't change fluids in the spring."
Mm-hmm.
Get your PM done. Get it washed. Get the salt off of it. Get something that's going to prevent rust or inhibit the corrosion at least. Don't change fluids.
Yeah, I'm in that camp.
Yep.
I like to do that in the fall.
Yep, and there's a couple reasons behind that.
Yep.
Right?
What's one of them?
Well, number one, when you're asking your maintenance staff, or maybe it's just you, depending on how big your company is, you're waiting until the fall to change those fluids. It makes you look at parts of the system that you might otherwise not look at had you put new fluids in the spring.
Yep.
Right. You're going to look at your reservoirs. You're going to look at your fill plugs. You're going to look at hoses, particularly ones that may have not survived the summer.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you start running those things, you start moving them around, you tend to notice those things to a little bit higher degree. You start to pay attention to them, I should say, to a little bit higher degree, and you'll notice things that are wrong that you may not have noticed if you did everything in the spring, and then the fall you just put it back on and you're ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's all fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Now there is one other thing though in the spring that I think you should do. Yeah. You know what? I bet you know what it is, don't you?
Oh, I know exactly what it
Bring
is.
it. What do you got?
Yeah. You got anything that needs repaired, the spring is the time to get those parts.
Yeah. Order parts early, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm telling you, there's a couple of reasons for that. The earlier, the better, because we have one vendor, one of our major vendors, who, if you get a little bit too late in the spring, they're going to tell you, sorry, I can't give you prices on anything right now. We're working on updating our entire catalog, which by the way, it's not going down.
Oh yeah, no, prices are not.
Spoiler alert: they're not lowering their prices.
Right.
So it's a good thing to get early while you can still get your vendors to get the stuff to you.
That's a good point.
Which is going to save you some money. Another reason is, and this is no knock on any particular vendor, but sometimes it just takes a long time to get parts out the door.
Yeah.
Especially on older equipment where it may be sort of an obscure type part that doesn't break that much or whatever. Your vendor's going to be able to get it to you, but sometimes it's just going to take a long time.
Well, and sometimes what happens is, like, let's take cutting edges for example, right? So the cutting edge factory, right? Mm-hmm. They very well may set up for XYZ blade, and then they're going to run 5,000 of those, and then they go to the next one, and then they go to the next one, and then they go to the next one. So depending on what you need, you might be in line for production that, yes, you're going to have it by wintertime, but you may not have it super, super early.
Right.
You can identify that if you order in the spring. Right. So you may be able to get that order put in and say, hey, this is on back order. It's going to be a minute. And then at least you know.
And also it gives you time then to find an alternative vendor. And so we ran into an issue with exactly that, cutting edges.
Yeah.
And we started in the spring. And we realized after about 6 to 8 weeks, that we needed to find an alternative vendor, which we did. It was fine. And we had the cutting edges in time, and we got everything ready for winter, and it was fine. The point I'm making is that the springtime is absolutely the time to do that.
Well, and that was for some older stuff. And if we would have waited till fall, it would have been 6 or 8 or 10 weeks before we got it, and we would have been in trouble. And that'd have been a huge problem.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, going back to the first point, if you can get to your vendors before they start updating prices for the spring, you're going to pay a little bit less for them.
Yeah.
Because they are not going down.
This is 100% true.
Yep. If anybody's priced a new plow setup or a new salter or sander, whatever you call them, from where you're from, setup.
Sander. That's
I
get it, man. I get it,
man.
No, I know it. It's a salter.
Looking for a sander.
They're getting outrageous, man. They really are. Funny story. I had a guy call me from somewhere in the Northeast, right? And the message was that he was looking for parts for a sander. And my mind went to, because I do woodworking. My mind went to a sander. I was like, I don't think I know what they're talking about. Yeah. Because we just don't use it around here.
Okay. So, all right. I'm going to tell a funny and semi-embarrassing story of mine from this past winter, right? So this goes back a few weeks ago, and most everybody was gone here, and I was outside working the loader, right? And this guy comes in, Hispanic guy. And I'm jotting down what he needs. Yeah, you know the story. And I'm jotting down what he needs. I'm like, all right, well, company with, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, what can I get you? And he goes, and I need three jards.
Tree jards.
3 jards. And I go, what? Wait a minute. What? And dude, I hadn't slept in, it had been about 24, 27 hours at that point. And I'm like, come again? And he's 3 jards. And I'm like, a jar? 3 jards? He goes, see. And I go, man, I don't know what a jar is. I'm sorry. I don't know what a jar is. He goes, no. Jards. And he points at his spreader, and he's got a 3-yard spreader. And I go, oh, son of a, you mean yards? He goes, see. I'm like, oh God, I'm an idiot. And he just burst into laughter. He's like, oh God. The whole thing was just hilarious. Anyway, it was probably a lot funnier in the moment than it was right now, but it was okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't want to necessarily move on from equipment right now, but I cannot stress enough to check every nook and cranny of your equipment. And I think you mentioned it before, cabs up on the skid loaders. Inside your salter / sander, if you have the chain that the material delivery system is chain underneath in between the chain.
Well,
it's
and on
so important.
Yeah, and on like strikers or steel casters or any of the Douglas Dynamics stainless spreaders that have got that control box on the back.
The control box on the back.
Open that control box, because I guarantee you there's salt in there.
Yes, there's absolutely going to be salt in there, and Salt Eliminator, safe for your electronics.
Yep. That in the chute, like open the chute area up. I mean, really do a good job cleaning stuff, man. Yeah.
Attention to detail goes a long way when it comes to bringing your stuff back out in the fall, and not having to spend tens of thousands of dollars to
fix stuff. Yeah.
Fix stuff.
Man. Yeah. And you guys have, it doesn't happen often, but Man, my head just positively pops off my shoulders in the fall when if we pull a spreader out of storage and there's salt on it still. Oh my God, I lose my mind.
I've got a funny story. It has nothing to do with snow though. Should I tell it?
Well,
sure.
Is it really funny or is it just like?
Or is
it's funny. It's kind
funny
of,
in Adam's head. So.
It's out of season, and I say that because when we're not out plowing snow and it's summertime. What do you do in your free time? Well, I like to go to the lake. Okay.
Yep.
So just a little south of here is Farmington, a little town called Farmington, and they have a radio station. It's called the Trading Post. And I was driving to the lake one time, and speaking of equipment. This guy calls in and he's talking about he's got a skid steer, this and that. That's fine. Well, the next guy calls in. He's just a good old boy. You can tell with his voice. He's like, "Yep, I got me about a 5-year-old vibrator. It's got manual different speeds and it's good. And, it's really comfortable. You're really gonna like it. And I like the way it feels, and the wife liked it. And he's just going on and on and on for like 5 minutes.
He's talking about for his
Just hear
Boy,
me out.
you weren't kidding when you said this was going off topic.
Yeah, it's off topic. So, but we're talking about equipment. This is a piece of equipment, not necessarily snow related.
Gas powered?
No, it's electric. So the guy on the phone line, he's cracking up. He can't contain himself. He's like, "All right, sir, what's your name and what's the phone number?" Well, then the phone call ends, and they realize after the big description that he gave of this amazing vibrator with variable speeds and it feels good and everything, it was a back massager.
Oh,
it was but the way he described it, I mean, everybody on the radio thing, it was just going crazy.
See, my mind was going to
exactly
like a bed vibrator,
exactly,
or a vibrator for your V box. V box.
You got man. Well, I don't know about. Yeah, I was
rolling. I heard
it's what PMA 200 or some crap like that's the part number on those things.
Well, let me tell you something. So on our dump trucks, the ones that we bought from a municipality or a state agency or from South Dakota or whatever.
That was South Dakota, yeah.
Yep. So the manufacturer of those bed vibrators is Tend Air, TEND-AIR, right? So when I go to look for a replacement one and I type Tend Air vibrator into the Googles, it comes back with, "Did you mean Tender vibrator, not safe for work?" And I was like, no, I did not mean that. Close this window now.
And that's why Jason's computer has to be reset.
So is that why you've got your personal computer in your desk with you?
Yeah, no,
that's weird.
No.
That's weird.
No.
Yeah,
we don't judge him though.
It's all good, man. So good. So good. So good. Yeah.
So yeah, I think
isn't yeah. I'm not going there.
I think we've hammered the equipment point home. But honestly, besides the cleaning and find every Zert fitting on that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
You got to look hard for some of them.
Yep.
But if there's a Zert fitting there, by God, it's there for a reason.
Yep.
It's not decoration. It needs grease there.
You just pump it in there, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
There it is. Yep. All right. So when you get to the end of the season, the other thing you got to take care of is your de-icing materials.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So some quick tips and tricks for that. So if you're storing bulk rock salt, you want to keep that on a paved surface and you want to keep it uphill. If you're downhill,
what do you mean by that?
I mean that check the grade. So if water is going to run from anywhere to your pile, that's not where you want your pile.
Okay.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Keep it covered. You want to keep it dry, and blue tarps are awful. They just disintegrate over the year.
You know what? I don't know. I think we might have talked about this in another episode, but Brent, our other guy here, came up with a phenomenal solution and was old billboards. Wait, Brent didn't come up with that?
Oh, you're talking about like the vinyl?
Yeah, billboard ties have been around for a long time.
Those are great.
You know what? We'll give Brent the credit. That's fine.
Okay, even if he didn't do it.
Good for Brent.
You can find them. They're easy to source.
Yep.
And they actually are really, really good.
They are really, really good.
You know what else they're great for? Sorry, off topic, but so I made a deer blind and I covered the roof with that. Lasted 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
I swear to God.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
It was
That's
amazing.
why they don't want them in landfills.
Fair enough.
Worked great.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah. Well, no, those are good. Those are good. There's also like tarps that are specifically made for salt. That's fine.
They are outrageously expensive.
They are, but they last a really long time.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, you got to fold them up and store them and stuff, which is kind of tricky. But
and you got to have like 30 guys to do it.
Yeah, because
they're heavy.
They weigh 1 billion pounds. Yep.
Probably one of my least favorite things is tarp in the sun.
Can talk about talking about the stacking of the salt pile.
Yep.
I've always kind of wondered why it's so important to get it up so high and to have less of a footprint on the ground.
So as the water runs down the ground, it'll eat away at the pile from the sides. So there again, if your pile is on high ground, you can take up a large footprint with it. But generally speaking, like for us, some of our depot areas don't have a lot of square footage.
Right.
So we have to go up instead of out.
Right.
So, which is why someone gets stacked pretty tall.
Okay.
So, yep.
And I think bag de-icers, if you got an inventory of that left over, it's something we should probably.
Yep. Yeah. If you can keep it out of the sun, that's best. Most of the products that are out there these days, they're designed to be stored outside.
Yeah.
You show up down at packaging facilities and at salt mines and stuff. I mean that stuff sits outside. I mean that's not gonna hurt it.
Right.
And most of your higher quality materials are going to be packaged with a black poly sheathing on the outside before it gets shrink wrapped. That's going to help keep the sun off of it, and you're fine.
Yeah.
But one thing that you do want to be careful of is if you're stacking your pallets up, you want to make sure that those pallets when you stack the pallet, that your bearing weight is on the vertical boards, not the horizontals.
Yep.
If you have bearing weight on the horizontals, then they're going to bend and snap,
and it's going to be a problem to unstack it.
Right. And
It's a
so
pain.
and then you wind up tearing 2 to 6 bags every time you go to pick up another pallet. Yeah, that could be tough.
Yeah, that's a huge pain. And it's frustrating to think that it only takes a couple of seconds to line that pallet up with the other one.
Yeah.
And just set it down gently. And as you're setting it down gently, while your forks are still in there, you can see if that's a good spot for it.
Yeah.
It's
If not-
a simple factor. Training your guys, giving them a little extra time to fully understand that.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, it is that, but it's also the guy who that guy has been trained really well, but he's here for an income and not an outcome.
Yep.
He just doesn't care.
Yep.
His boss told him to stack those piles three high, 3 across, get it done.
Yep.
And that's what he wants to do.
Yeah. There's that, here for the income, not the outcome thing. Where did that come from? Did you make that up, or is that like?
I wish I did make it up. It's something that growing up
you stole it, didn't you?
No, growing up in the construction world, I would hear guys say that all the time. Hey, that, whatever, that's cut an 1/8 inch short or whatever. That's fine. I'm here for an income, not the outcome. It's really old thing.
Oh, okay.
I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
And in my first career, I never got a chance to say it because you're not there for an income. Trust me.
Thank you for your service on that note.
Stop.
Okay.
But but it's become one of my favorite sayings.
What'd you do? What'd you do in the service? Just briefly,
Oh,
fill us
dude.
in.
Oh, come on.
No,
it's a very long, prestigious, glorified career.
why don't you just tell us what type of equipment that you dealt with? Just keep it simple.
We had some
'cause
trucks and some guns, some attack helicopters.
Yeah, that's what's badass. The old Apache.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, something else that you need to button up at the end of the year is going to be, employees and subcontractors.
Yep.
I mean, you want to take some time while this is all still fresh in your head to really think about, okay, who are your key go-to good employees, your key good go-to subcontractors, and most importantly, why are they good? Why are they go-to?
Yeah.
Because if you can establish why somebody is good or why a subcontractor is good, that gives you something to look for in others.
Yeah.
And it gives you some perspective on the ones that aren't necessarily the greatest.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate other side of that coin, right?
Yeah, which of these crews are not welcome back next year and why?
Yeah.
We've got one that's worked for us for years, and this year that's it. They're done.
Yeah,
they're never coming back. It turns out we found their management change, blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. But there's you need to do that assessment every single year.
Yeah.
If you don't do a reassessment of your employees and your crews and your subcontractors, then you find yourself in a situation where you get to fall and you think, oh, well, I've got all of these resources left over from last year. Like this is how much stuff I've got. These are how many people I have.
Yeah.
Well, if those people and that stuff, if they're not all good,
Right.
well, you don't really have that.
Yeah, and
so
if some of those headaches you dealt with during the winter right? If you're not taking the time to really evaluate the staff as a whole, right, to see where your weak points are, and then as the fall comes back around, be prepared to have those same headaches next winter that you had this winter that you were dealing with.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate side, right? But it is a reality that you have to address those things.
Yep, 100%. I do not disagree.
But on the other hand, if you find an area,
how many hands you got, man? On the other hand,
a lot. If you find an employee who has excelled in one particular area, maybe try to guide them more towards that area with a little bit more, maybe a little bit more authority, a little bit more responsibility.
And I'm sorry, you mean authority?
Authority.
That's one.
Yeah.
I think if Jason wasn't in the snow business, he might be like just a business
male model.
That too. He'll just come in and he's just going to tell you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. Let's talk about these processes.
Yeah.
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 But I would say processes.
Would you?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Just because I like Canadians.
Canadians are cool. Yeah. My sister-in-law's Canadian.
Yeah. I know you've probably told her what it's all about several times.
Hey?
Take off, eh?
Yeah.
You hoser.
We talked we talked to a contractor in British Columbia just last week.
We did.
Sure did.
Yep.
So
he was excited about it.
Yes, he was. It's cool stuff. Man, all right. So that's equipment, it's materials, employee subcontractors. We talked at length about customers in the last episode.
We did.
Yep. So you know what I think that means?
Bye.
Man, I think that means we got another one. Here we go.
Another successful.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we really, really appreciate you listening. Thanks so much. If you could, shoot us a message. Let us know what you would like for us to talk about. You can text us at 314-260-4352. Again, area code 314-260-4352. You can get to us at podcast@swintergroup.com. And we would really like to hear from you.
Yep.
Anyways.
And Adam's shot collar seems to be working now. So.
Jesus. All right, Ken Bogeman, Adam Hunter, Jason Duggan, Swinter Group.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.